Episode 17. A Warm Embrace. Just as Jade was about to take off her dress, Daria's eyes darkened and he pulled her up without her consent. Because she'd been kneeling down for a long time, Jade's legs were numbed and she wobbled and fell into his arms. This was the third time she'd fallen into his arms. She disliked this stranger, but at that moment he reached out to hug her and a loving thought appeared in her heart. His embrace was warm, and she really needed a hug at that moment. As Jade closed her eyes, tears flowed from the corners of her eyes and down her neck. Her pain flowed through her eyes, and this time, she did not think of holding them back. In her heart, she wished for him to keep hugging her for just a little longer. She felt like she was in a dream. "Lucas, get the car over here. Are you really sick of working?" Although the car was some distance away, Daria's powerful voice still reached Lucas's ears. As he saw the scene clearly through the car's headlights, Lucas was shocked. Lucas wondered what he saw, and whether it was a female ghost who his boss was carrying in his arms. Just as he felt frightened and was about to escape, he suddenly realized that the ghost looked familiar. Lucas thought, was that not the lady he slept with last night? Seriously, what a coincidence. Thank God, not a ghost then. Lucas felt relief instantly, and his expression became normal again. He stamped on the accelerator. In the next second, the car stopped beside Daria and Jade. Seeing that Daria's car had arrived, Jade knew it was her time to leave. She pushed against his chest gently because she wanted to turn around and leave. However, Daria held her tightly, dragged her into the car, and quickly closed the door. Lucas turned on the heater in the car as soon as he saw Jade shivering. As the temperature in the car rose gradually, Jade began to feel comfortable again. The goosebumps on her snow-white skin slowly disappeared. "Thank you, I should leave now." Jade struggled to get out of Daria's arms, but he did not seem like he wanted to let her go, and warned her, "If you want to leave, then take off the dress. I've told you before, I hate chatty women. You better stay here obediently for now." After hearing what Daria said, Jade was fuming with anger, but she did not dare take another step because she knew he was serious. She did not know what he would do the next second. She felt she was on the verge of despair, but when she looked at him, he was like a candle in the dark. He brought her hope and led her out of the darkness. Her eyes were shining like the bright moon hanging in the night sky. Every time she met him, she felt things would not be so bad anymore. But she wondered why a strong and independent woman like her would obediently listen to him. Besides, after being forced by her uncle and aunt, her self-esteem was low. She bit her lip and struggled out from his embrace, since she felt it was improper for people to be intimate when they were not a couple. Daria squinted his eyes and stared at her menacingly. He then looked at her clothes and spoke in an indifferent voice. Even with the heater on, Jade could feel coldness cutting through her bones to the marrow. "If you dare to move again, I'll strip you and throw you out immediately." Jade stared at him stubbornly. If she had been any other woman, she would have offered herself to him, but she kept trying hard to escape. "What are you waiting for? Drive." Daria glanced coldly at Lucas as if he was saying, "When did you become so senseless?" "Stop, I want to leave." Daria ignored her and said, "What's the matter? Didn't you eat today? Why are you driving so slowly?" After hearing this, Lucas stepped on the accelerator and sped up to 140 kilometers per hour. The car felt as if it were flying, and in the back seat, Jade felt that the tires were lifting off of the road because of the speed. Jade was scared as just in that moment, Daria opened the car door. Jade was shocked and took a step back without knowing what she was doing. However, Daria held her hand tightly and made her sit closer to the car door. At that moment, she could clearly feel the wind scraping against her delicate skin and the pain of the coldness cutting through to her bones. "What are you trying to do?" Jade panicked and screamed. Daria forced her to lean outwards so that half of her head was exposed outside the door, causing her to be extremely terrified. On the other hand, she could still clearly feel that his strong arms were holding her by the waist, preventing her from falling. "Didn't you want to leave? Go on." Jade heard a playful yet sarcastic voice in her ears. Jade gritted her teeth and felt she was on the verge of death. She said to herself, "Devil, this person is definitely a devil." Jade gripped the car door and tightened her lips. Daria smiled as his left hand still held her around the waist tightly, but his right hand began to move restlessly around her body. Jade could hear and feel him unzipping her dress. Her heart skipped a beat. Jade wondered what he was trying to do and whether he was really going to take off her dress and throw her out of the car. As he pulled at the zipper of her dress, Dario asked again in an indifferent tone, "Do you still want to leave? Don't make me ask again." Jade's teeth were chattering from the cold, yet she still did not want to surrender. Suddenly, she felt a chill on her back. Dario had already pulled down the zipper of her dress so that he could see her underwear. At that moment, Jade finally realized that he was serious. He was not joking. She was no match for him. "I don't want to leave anymore." As soon as she finished speaking, she felt a force pulling her back into her seat. Dario closed the car door immediately, and the howling wind finally turned into warm air. Her heart was pounding hard and she was shivering in fear. She sat in her seat for about 10 minutes while Dario remained silent. He was trying to warm her up with his body temperature, and she did not resist. At that time, her tears had already dried up. Finally, she calmed herself down and said something to Dario. "Thank you,"